Yeah. All right. Good.
We said we'd do a loud noise.
Yeah, if we do a loud noise and something flamboyant, then we can match up the loud noise to something flamboyant. It's like the word flamboyant.
Flamboyant.
Is that one?
Just the two.
Oh, okay.
I need two.
That's bright. Okay.
All right.
All right. We
All
now
right,
have
let's
gag
make sure,
reels.
Make sure we talk into the microphones.
Yes, it's okay. I like to hide behind the microphone.
Are we going to make a loud noise?
Yep.
All right, and all right. This is episode 1
Of season 3?
of the new Digital Marketing Academy Book Club podcast. My name is John Palutsky. I'm here with,
Alicia Blackburn.
and today we are going to be talking about Can't Hurt Me by David Crazy Person Goggins. Alicia's going to give you a little disclaimer.
So we read this book. Actually, we listened to it because, fun fact,
Way
the
better.
audiobook is a lot better. But so we read the book. There will be spoilers to this very real man's life. So if you haven't read it and you don't want to be spoiled, then go read it and then come back.
Go listen to it.
Yes.
This book is purely here for aesthetics.
It does have gnarly pictures in it, though. They tell you to go, like, Google. So there's that. But, yeah. So there'll be spoilers.
All right, so we're going to try to stick to the format, but I'm sure we will wander off at some point. So first question is, what did you like best about this book?
So, it's just a fascinating story overall, but I really appreciated how truthful he was about everything.
Yeah, I mean, it's overwhelming.
It's hard to say that there's a favorite part because there's nothing good, like nothing good in his life is highlighted in this book. It glosses over any personal relationships.
Yeah.
It glosses, there's no happiness to be found there.
There are tons of accomplishments in
Yeah.
the book, but
There's
all...
not a lot of feel-good moments.
No, there's not. I would agree with you. Yeah, I guess my favorite parts of the audiobook are the conversations.
Yeah.
So I thought that as good as the book is, the conversations, and again, that's why the audiobook's such a bonus. The conversations that he has with the kind of the ghostwriter guy are just fascinating.
Yeah. I guess I'd have to say the ending where he's talking about like why he's motivated the way he is,
Yeah.
and talks about like his faith. Like I found that to be the most enlightening part of the
Really
entire
interesting,
thing.
right? It
Yeah.
kind of tied into faith at the end. I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, I didn't either.
What did you like least about the book?
The child abuse.
Jesus. Yeah, it's harsh. Yeah, this is not a book for the light of heart.
I actually, so I guess my biggest pet peeve with the book is that he's very inspiring, but at the same time, like he doesn't go into how his crazy approach to things impacted the people around him. Like he's giving all these things of like, be your best, do this, do that, but it's obvious that his accomplishments and what he wanted to do kind of came before people in his life.
Yeah, well, I think at his level, they have to.
Yeah.
There's no way you can run 700 miles a week or do 3 hell weeks or do all these different things without affecting other people's lives or the people around you. We really need to fix the microphone so we can actually see each other.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think that there's a way that you could do that without sacrificing some personal relationships,
Yeah.
which he certainly has.
Yeah. And it's a matter of priority, but like that's the thing
Yeah.
that kind of bothered me is that he doesn't explore the fact, like he doesn't shy away from the fact that he's divorced 3 times,
Yeah, a couple
but to
times.
2 people.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't not say that, but he doesn't like go into how all this stuff impacted that, because I feel like if you're gonna push people to even though he says don't do what I did exactly, he doesn't really go into the negatives of what he did other than the health implications. He doesn't
Yeah.
go into the relational implications.
I don't think it's a factor.
For him.
Yeah, no.
But it should
no.
be for other people making a decision.
No, it should. Yeah, I just think that he doesn't.
He doesn't care.
Nope, not at all. Yeah, I don't think so. I think he's one of those people that when he has relationships, they're like, he seems like one of those guys that, like, if he's got your back, he's got your back.
Yeah.
But he doesn't. That circle is very small.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he did. The biggest relationship implication he comes across is the fact that because he wasn't one of the boys, he had a hard time with his military career.
Yeah.
And like to him, that's the biggest relationship failure. Like that's the thing that pained him the most as being like more than the divorces.
Yeah, I mean the closest relationship was obviously his mom, but
I want to meet her.
Did you have you ever seen the video of him accepting the it's VA award?
No.
As soon as we're done this, we'll pull it up on the screen and I'll show you. All right, next question is, if you were making a movie of this book, who would you cast?
Trevor? No, I'm joking.
Trevor would die. There's no way he could fit that kind of shit.
I'm not sure I could. I'm not sure there's many people who could play him. Like, I mean, what are you gonna do? Get The Rock to play him? Like, there's nobody that big.
It would have to be a tremendous, like for young Goggins. Obviously, you could pick like some fat guy, but for
fit and shape
for like
Goggins.
30s Goggins, that's a tough one.
Even 40s Goggins. He talks about being in better shape now than he was in his 20s.
It's ridiculous.
Because of stretching.
Yeah, from like the time he got out of, but from the time he became a SEAL until now, that's a tough one to cast.
Yeah.
I don't see like Donald Glover ain't in shape.
Yep. I mean,
So-
he could use this as an
He
opportunity.
could use, yeah. Donald with his dad bod. I can't think of, and like Michael B. Jordan is in good shape. The dude who played Black Panther's in
Yeah.
good shape.
Yeah, I guess
That
one of those two would probably be my.
super popular Mahershala Ali right now, he's in pretty good shape.
Who's that?
The guy who won the Golden Globe for
I don't
that,
want anything.
he's in that movie about Green Book or something like that, where he's, he won an award with Viggo Mortensen. He's in a movie with him. And now he's in True Detective. He's the
Okay.
new detective in True Detective. But he seems.
I guess they don't actually have to like run ultra marathons.
No, but you would have to be in incredible
Do-
shape.
45,000 push-ups or pull-ups or
Yeah, no, you don't have to.
4,500. Sorry. I had
All
a
right.
10 there.
So, do you have a favorite quote from the book?
So that's actually what made me think of doing audio clips earlier. Because the hard part with audiobooks is that it's hard to like snag a quote. Like
Yeah.
when you're reading a book, you can highlight and put a bookmark in. When you're doing the audiobooks, you can't. So yes, but I don't remember. Like there was a few different times where I was like, oh, I'm driving. I should remember that.
The like moment that I remember the most clearly, and I think it's because he also repeated it on Joe Rogan, was the like him getting to heaven and like getting to God and like if he never did anything that he did, seeing the list of like Navy SEAL and motivational speaker and then being like, that's not me, and God being like, well, it could have been, you just were a lazy fuck and you didn't do it. That to me was super powerful. That like what, because it really shows like what his motivation level is all about.
Yeah.
It was really cool. That was really impactful to me. If you got a chance to ask the author one question, what would it be? You're going to ask him about his relationships.
I would ask him if he ever considered, while he pushed past his brain limiter, maybe having a human limiter who like could slow him down sometimes. Because the number of times he has almost killed himself.
Yeah, it's absurd.
Like that was all I could think of when I was, what part was that? The glacier run? Where he's like talking about, I'm like, why is there not someone on your team telling you what is the proper shoe wear? Where is the research to make sure that you, because it's like all these other people are doing it without almost killing themselves.
Yeah.
And you're just like, are you purposefully being obtuse to make it harder?
I think that's part of the appeal for him. He's
a masochist.
Yeah, he is, definitely. I think it's part of the, like, I'm just going to go do this. I'm going to get up tomorrow and run 100 miles. I've never done that before and figure it out. Yeah, I think that's a weird.
But if you almost get hurt doing it once, like, it doesn't take much research to figure out what type of shoes you need to run on a glacier.
Well, I think he got way better at it as he moved on. Like, he got better at doing the ultras and figuring out nutrition and those things. So, that's interesting. I don't know what question I would ask him. I kind of feel like I really would want to dig more into his psychology.
I'm scared to dig into his
psychology.
psychology.
I mean, it's dark. It's dark in there.
It's dark.
All right. So next one is, what aspects of this story could you most relate to?
His life experience is so incredibly different from mine that, I mean, even down to, like, he has a very internal locus of control, whereas I have a very external locus of control, and
Yep.
So relating to it, I mean, I do enjoy pushing myself at certain things, but I also enjoy being safe about the pushing.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a good point, because I think one of the interesting things with his journey, and I think people like that, are you can't get to the level that they're at without some of that risk.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. So I think it's interesting to see to me it's just the testament to the human spirit of how hard and how far you can actually, if you, and again, I don't think everyone has that gene, and I don't think everyone has the ability to do that. But the message to me for, like, inner city kids and all these, anybody who's just having a shit life, that you can get out of that situation.
Yeah.
It's not everybody can, but some people can. And if you put your mind to it and you work harder than everybody else, and you're a crazy person, you can. I just don't know how many people. I think it's true that none of us use our capacity, and 40%, his 40% rule of, like, you're only using 40%, and when you're not done when your body says you're done when you're done. I don't know how true that is for everyone.
Yeah.
I think that we can all push ourselves way more than we do, but I do think that he's the most uncommon of uncommon people.
Yeah, I agree with that. We all are. It's human nature to become, like you said, it's human nature to be comfortable.
Yeah.
You want to be comfortable. You don't want to push. And it totally is the type of person you are when you do push back that. Now, obviously, someone who has, like, disabilities,
Sure.
mentally or physically,
Yeah.
like, not everyone is just going to ignore a heart murmur and
Yeah, it's not for you.
It's not for you, but just because you don't, you can always push harder.
There's a certain testament to, like, don't just accept your position.
Yeah.
Like, and maybe you can't go from where he did to where he is now. Maybe that's not for everybody, but you can certainly improve drastically your life if you really
You should never
choose to do that.
Well, it's like, I think I've said this to you before, like, if there's something to complain about, either do something about it or stop complaining about it.
No one gives a shit. That's a great Gary Vee-ism. I mean, nobody gives a shit. You can play video games all day, but then don't complain when you don't have money.
Yeah.
Like, it's fine that you do that, but you
Everyone
have to sell
has
for whatever that is.
Different priorities. Like, I have a kid.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, knowing my kid growing up is going to come before certain
Sure.
other opportunities.
Yeah, and that's not pushing yourself or not pushing yourself. That's just choosing a priority.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I push myself with him all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's it. I mean for questions, I think it's an amazing book, and it's an amazing story, and it's great that the author says a million times through the book, like, we fact checked this whole thing.
Yeah.
Like, there are so many stories in there that you're like, there's no way
There's no possible way.
this is true, and it is. I mean, he's right about the brotherhood with the Navy SEALs and everything, because I know that like some of the people in that community do not like him.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of people ask Jocko about him, and like Jocko will be complimentary and say that he's a great athlete, but he doesn't really mention him as a
SEAL.
yeah. It doesn't feel the same
Yeah.
as some of the other people. And I know he was on Joe. They're both obviously Joe Rogan is friends with both of them, and Joe Rogan talked to Goggins about Jocko last time I was on. He's like, hey, do you know Jocko? And he's like, I kind of know of him. Like so, there's some strife there. But it's interesting because, you know, Goggins is best friends with Morgan Luttrell, who's Marcus Luttrell's brother. And those guys are, you know, big time SEALs too. So it's funny how he does have some of those relationships.
I mean, everyone meshes with different
Sure.
people.
Yeah,
And that's
Yeah.
okay.
agreed.
So, I have a question for you though.
Yeah,
Which was your favorite exercise that he had you do?
well, that's a good one. I don't know. I would have to go back and look at them because I finished the book a few weeks ago. I do like the one thing I really loved was the like putting all the stickies on the mirror
Mm-hmm.
and then peeling the things off as you accomplish them. Thought that was really cool. How about you?
I liked the after incident report. Is that what it's called? After
Yeah.
whatever. That to me had the most applications, like in
Like
a
real
business
life
setting, real life
applications,
setting.
yeah.
Because like I often find that when something goes wrong, especially like with a client or something, like there's this moment of like, well, what do we do? And like taking the time to unpack what happened, what
Yeah.
went well, what didn't go well, how did you feel? Like, let's formalize learning from mistakes.
Yeah, it stops you from repeating those mistakes.
Yeah.
And that's a big military thing. That's really cool.
And that's something I've always like, that's one of those things that I've always tried in some way to do, but like having an actual like physical document of it, I think.
Yeah.
It's better than just going over it in your head, because in your head nobody else knows that you just did that.
No.
But it gives closure to situations too.
Yeah, I agree. I love this book. I thought it was amazing. I thought it's possibly the most motivational thing I've ever read in my life.
Doesn't want to motivate you, John.
I know, even though he doesn't, he's not trying to motivate people because motivation's bullshit. But if there's anything that you could read that could possibly change your life to make you push harder and do more things, this is the fucking book to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you read this and you don't have a visceral reaction to it, you're probably dead.
That's true. That's
So
true.
there's so much to unpack in that book. I really want to read it again and kind of go through. It's just an unbelievable story.
You should read it this time. That way you can
Yeah,
look it
I might
up.
read the book. Yeah, it's actually
Very nice paper.